welcome to this tutorial on CuteLuks. I'm going to be taking you on how to make your bustier. For those of you that still have issues on how to make your off-shoulder bustier, this video is going to help you on how to take your bustier measurements and how to curve your bustier accurately from the under bust to the nipple point, and then how to get started on the machine and process everything. So I have my measurement here, and you can see my half length is 17, my bust is 40, which I'm going to divide, it gives me 10 here, and this is my waist, it says 32. If I divide it into 4, it gives me 8. And this is my nipple point, my nipple to nipple, which is from the nipple point of this left side of your bust to the right side, or whatever place you want to take it from. And this is my nipple point, and this is the under bust. I don't need to divide anything here. So I'm going to start showing you how to go with this idea. So this is it. To be able to get your off-shoulder bustier done, is that you're minusing 4 inches or you're doing 5 or 6, depending on how low the person wants the off-shoulder to be. But I'm going to be using 5 inches. No, it's not the regular measurement. So this is it. My 5 inches is off because it's called an off-shoulder dress. So I'm going to be stopping at the half length so you can process it down, but this is the main part you need to be able to handle. So I'm going to take my nipple point, which says, my nipple point says 12 inches. I'm going to be adding half to that 12 inches. So this is my half here. My under bust says 15. I'm going to add half extra under of it, because after sewing you find out that this pushes up and affects your under bust. So most times our under bust away from our nipple point is always 3.5 inches or 3 inches or 3.5 inches. So as I have 15.5 inches, if I bring my tape by, that is giving me 3 inches or 3.5 inches. You can see, but I prefer it goes to 3.5 inches so that it stays firm, because of the size of the bust measurement I have is a 40 measurement. Assuming it's a 30 something measurement down, these 3 inches won't be a problem at all. So this is it. I'll be using 3.5 inches here, then I'll roll it out. So this is my nipple point here, MP, and this is my under bust here. And so I'll come up here and take my armhole measurement that says 8 inches up here, and my bust length says 10.5 inches. So this is it, and this is it. So I'm going to roll this out. This is my bust line, and this is my armhole line. So I'm going to write it BL or B bust point. This is my armhole line. So back to this, I'm going to go down to my half length, which says 17. I'm not going to be placing my 17 direct. I'm going to be adding extra 1.5 inches. So this is my 17. I'm going to add extra 1.5 inches down here. So total of what I have is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to roll this out. So I have my half length ready. So all lengths are ready. This is my half length here. So we'll start taking my measurements. So like I said, my bust is 40. I already divided it, which is 10 inches. I have it here. I'm going to add my 1 inch to sew. The 1 inch that is going to go out of here, I'm going to add it, and then I'm going to be adding my 2 inches for sewing allowance. That is a total of 4 inches. We always have plus 4. So I'm going to come down to my waistline. At most we have people using under bust. I don't really use under bust, but if you want to use your under bust, no problem. So which, if I'm going to take off my under bust here, I'm just going to be taking quarter off this place. So I'm using 7.75 here. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches because I'm working with a 40 bust, and 40 bust, and most times it's better to have your 2 inches by the side. 1.5 inches always looks smaller. 2 inches is always better for proper curving. So I'm going to add 1 inch to hold back, and then my sewing allowance, my 2 inches, 1 inch by the other side, and then 1 inch to hold back, and then 2 inches to sew this cloth. So this is it. And then my waist says 8. This is my 8 plus 1 for the front dart. The side here, I'm going to be using 1.5, which is around the waistline, not the under bust. I'm going to add 1 inch to hold back the dart, and then I'm going to add my sewing allowance. So mind you, what I added here for my under bust, when I'm covering the under bust, is 2 inches, plus my 1 inch at the front side. Then at the waistline I took 1.5 inches and then 1 inch, then my that measurement and then my sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect these lines together. So this I have, and then up to my armhole. So let me make this easy for you. So this is it. And then okay, so we start from the neck point here. I'm going to be using 5 inches up here. Then I'll add my 1 inch and another 1 inch for that up there, and then 1/2 inch to join my sleeve. And then I'll connect my armhole like this. Very simple. My 5 inches, depending on the person's front chest line, could be 10, could be 11, but I'm working with 10, so this is my 5 inches, 1 inch for the front line curve, 1 inch for the side curve, and 1/2 inch to my sleeve. So I'm going to start with my nipple to nipple that says 8. This is my 8 here. I'll put my 8, and then I'm going to take off the 1. I'm going to add the 1 inch that's going to go up at the front side, and then 1/2 inch to join. In total of what I have here, you can see 4 plus 1, 5. That's 5.5 in total of what I have here. So I'm going to place my 5.5 all the way up. So this is my 5.5 inches. I'm going to take it all the way up. Then I'll rule that out. And this is it. So I'll come to my waistline and take my 1.5 inches that I added here. The 1 inch I added here will be at the front side. You can see I have 4.5 inches. So when I finish sewing with half, I have my 8 inches waiting for me. And so under bust, I'm going to take 1 inch at the front, my 2 inches here. And so at this upside, this 1 inch here, 1 inch here, I'm going to put 1 here. I'm going to take 1 back. And then I'm going to take the depth of my neck, depending on the neck you want. But I want a sweetheart, not too deep, so I'm going to be using 8 inches. And then I'll connect this way with my curve. So this is my curve with me. I'm going to curve from my 1 inch here. You can see I want this sweetheart so deep. Can you see? And so I won't be touching this point here because it's going out. Then I'll connect from this part to meet here, and then here to meet this 1 inch here. So I'm going to take this. If you notice, the front side is not always too deep. So I'll do this. Just like this. And then I'll blend this in carefully so they go in real good. I'm going to blend this in very well. You can see this is very big, so while you're sewing, that is where you can actually shape in your neck measurement, and then you find out that you're shorting this off and then to still reduce again. But mind this person is on the big bust size, so don't look at a bust of 38 and be working with this measurement. No. And so this is my 1 inch up here. You see this is going to be well curved, very deep. So I'm going to go this way because it's the side of our bust is always fuller than the center side. So I'm going to connect this carefully to make this line. Can you see? So I have the bust measurement out. So I'm going to connect them down to meet the waistline. You can see I have this and I have my 1 inch connecting very good. Can you see? So you don't have issues with your bustier anymore. Just go through this carefully and use this method. So this is going to go off. This one as well is going to go up. That's why I added that 1 inch, making it a total of 2. So I don't have any reason for shortage around here. Then when I'm sewing my sleeve, I have inch to hold back to my sleeve. So I'm going to cut this out and show you the finishing of this pattern. So all you have to do then is place it on your material and then get the bust ready. So carefully, when you do this. And as well, after cutting out everything, sewing, cut out your lining, then sew before you can shape your sweetheart. No problem. just showing you what it looks like when you curve it, so you can see. I carefully do this as well. So I need to put out the armhole, and then we're good to go. So this is it for your pattern drafting of your bustier. Like I said, bust 30 and is under bust out 1.5. So you can see this. So after connecting here, this curve under here is going to be too cool when the person puts on this. So you have to do this and this, so you can see you're cool. So no more issues with on how to make your bustier anymore. So when you're about to sew, you sew with your 1/2 inch here, or you sew with your 1/4, and then you have your 8 inches ready. So this is it here, and then you're good. So you see, so all you have to do is pattern, and then we're good to go. So guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.